The Joe Rogan Experience.
You should eat some animal protein without, I mean, if you oppose the moral aspect of killing an animal, which I totally understand and appreciate, and that's what led me to become a hunter in the first place, is that I was really uncomfortable watching these animal rights videos of factory farming. I thought it was disgusting. I was like, I don't want to participate in this.
Yeah, it's reprehensible.
Hunting is a different thing, man. To me, hunting is this intense, it's very spiritual in a way. I mean, people don't get it because they see you celebrating when it's over, because it's very, very, very difficult to close in on a wild animal.
What are you hunting?
Mostly elk. Well, elk's my favorite for two reasons. One, it's very delicious, super nutritious. Also, if I shoot one elk, I can eat it for like 8 months.
What are you doing, freezing them, salting them?
Yeah, freezing them.
So you're out stalking an elk on the plains.
Yeah.
Where are you? Like near where you live? You just go out? Do you travel on bikes or something? How do you follow them?
You do travel on bikes if you whitetail hunt. A lot of times you'll go into the woods with bikes because they don't leave a scent the way your feet do. In the late 19th century, early 20th century, they didn't have refrigeration, and it was hard to get food, and we didn't have the same sort of large-scale agriculture that we have today. And so when someone would want meat, somebody would either have to hunt it for you, and you would go to the market and get that hunted food, or you would go out and do it yourself. And they basically wiped out most of the wildlife in North America to the point of extinction. Whitetail, deer, elk, they've been extirpated from the majority of their range in North America and only been replaced in a few other places. But the places where they've been replaced, it's all through money that was generated through hunting tags, all through billions and billions of dollars. There's a thing called the Robertson-Pickman, I think that's what it's called, Act, where 10%, if you buy hunting gear and equipment, 10% of that money goes to habitat restoration, making sure that rangers and forest people get funded, so that the Fish and Game Department gets funded, and also population conservation, making sure that the populations are healthy, repopulating certain areas with elk and deer. And this has all been done through the money that's generated through hunting.
Yeah, I can see that looking at my own feelings towards it, I can see that there's I'm bringing a sentimentality to the idea of animals that's like anthropomorphic.
Yes.
Like I'm like, oh, you can't kill that. What about its babies? Like I'm thinking about things like that. But what I live in a rural area in Britain where like hunting is normal, and agriculture is normal, and I wouldn't get very far if I was sort of like, you can't shoot those pheasants, look at their feathers, they're beautiful. You know what I mean? It's not a helpful attitude. So whilst I in myself, I couldn't do that because it messes me up on a sort of feels like a very sort of deep, visceral level, but I feel that this is precisely the kind of territory where we have to look at acknowledging and tolerating difference between us. This is where I feel like the sort of these ossified, polarized positions between right and left are starting to take root, because if someone like me who don't eat meat, don't eat animal products, and wouldn't hunt for ethical reasons starts trying to impose on other people, no, you shouldn't hunt because of this, that, have you not watched Bambi? That's going to mean that people aren't able to explore who they are. So I've let go of judging people around things that I don't agree with.
Hunting supports natural habitat and wildlife conservation. According to the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, hunting generates more than $1.6 billion a year for wildlife conservation programs. It also helps prevent overpopulation of various animals. So why is the stigma around hunting so negative? Many are not educated, often leading to misinformed people attacking members of the hunting community. In this short video, we will go over how hunting is beneficial to the environment, provides funding for various organizations, and how you can make a change.
As far as funding goes, in the early 1900s, when there was a decline of wildlife species, the firearms and ammunition industry asked Congress to impose an 11% excise tax on firearm and ammunition sales to help fund wildlife conservation, resulting in passing the Pittman-Robertson Act in 1937 now known as Federal Aid and Wildlife Restoration. According to David Allen, CEO of Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, this tax generates more than $1.6 billion annually. Now let's run some numbers to see just how much hunting benefits the economy. Hunting license generates more than $896 million a year. Hunters also spend $38 billion a year in retail spending, according to the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Services. And through donations to groups like Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, hunters add $440 million in aiding conservation efforts. So we can see that hunters are the most passionate conservationists, and no source spends more than them.
Hunters, after all, have a wide range of interests, motivations, and backgrounds.
Look at you, dude.
Saw a couple bull elk. Just gotta head that way. See that? We got some fresh animal tracks right here. Looks like a white-tailed deer. Maybe a coyote.
Maybe
Someone's
a coyote.
dog.
Someone's dog.
Fresh.
Oh my god!
Definitely fresh.
Though U.S. hunters are predominantly white males, some are female, American Indian, African American, and Latino. I believe that developing and passing on proper hunting ethics is critical to the contribution of prolonged huntable wildlife populations and opportunities. Growing diversity in hunting will teach all ethnic types the value and respect of nature and the process of life. The core values of hunting will instill respect for the law, the animal habitat, and proper behaviors in society. Learning about the wildlife we hunt develops into a respect for them. Ultimately, that will become your foundation for ethical hunting and decision making.
After seeing this video, you can see how hunting has many benefits towards the environment and many different animal species. The benefits of encouraging hunting across the U.S. can help overpopulation, support natural habitats and wildlife conservation, and also provide funding to various organizations.